Hello, my name's Michael Conneely, and this video is all about the August new moon of the 4th of August 2024. And I've entitled it, Be the Brave Traveller. Because revolution is called for, and the negotiating of quite complicated different energies, where negotiating those energies can yield us wonderful harvests. So this new moon of August 2024 is at 18 Vedic Cancer, that's 12 Leo, Western Tropical Zodiac. And the new moon grows to full moon on the 19th of August. And this lunation ends with the new moon of the 3rd of September. I think it's so very important to allow time to take stock of how you are feeling and what the astrological energies are fairly early on in a lunation. Please do deep work. It's so helpful. It's so transformative. And then it's important to review things and make further decisions and growth steps as a lunation progresses. I'm feeling that the key start intentions at the time of this, the start time of this August new moon include, let us only speak our truth. Be strong. Make a decision as to who you think your true self is. Feel what revolution energies are calling for you to be and calling for you to do in your life. And then make a decision as to what changes you must bring in. What revolution is needed in terms of your sense of yourself now, and in terms of the life path you are treading now? What changes are you needing that you must decide to take now? And remember, it might be useful to remember, destruction can be needed for rebirth. So include asking what must be destroyed now in order to bring in your positive, needed sense of self, goals and intentions now. So the first of the challenges I list for this August new moon is the creation of difficult to handle Mercury energies. From the point of view of the Nakshatra, the wonderful lunar sign of Vedic astrology, note that this new moon falls in Ashlesha Nakshatra at the end of Cancer. Now, Ashlesha Nakshatra is ruled by Mercury. Its nature is very critical, though it can grow into being very spiritual as well. And importantly, the symbol for Ashlesha is the snake, the serpent. And remember, snakes have been revered as sacred from ancient times in all countries. This is because snakes can shed skins, and we all need to shed skins at times. And they can move very fast, and they don't sort of necessarily have to move straight. They can weave and move like that. And they have fangs. Lord Shiva Nataraja dances the dance of death and creation with a serpent wrapped round his waist. Serpent spirituality is vastly ancient and underlies so much. Now this means that a forefront important energy created for each of us to deal with is Mercury, communication, analytical thought. And this is because Mercury is the ruler of Ashlesha Nakshatra, where the new moon is. Note that Mercury is stationary and thus super powerful on the day of the new moon. Note that on the next day, the 5th of August, Mercury turns retrograde at 9 Leo. And Mercury transitions from Leo to Cancer on the 22nd of August. Note that a very important feature of this retrograde is that this Mercury retrograde goes through the Gandanta zone. There are 3 Gandanta zones, zones of immateriality between water sign and fire sign. In this case, Mercury is going retrograde, so from Leo to Cancer, from the 17th of August to the 26th of August. So the 3 Gandanta zones are, as I said, water sign to fire sign transitions, Pisces to Aries, Cancer to Leo, and Scorpio to Sagittarius. And of course, the immateriality energy is strongest on the actual sign transition day, and either side of it, in this case the 22nd of August. And that will make this retrograde Mercury's energies even more challenging in their effect on our minds and emotions than Mercury retrogrades usually are. But of course, because of the immateriality, it can open us to the divine realm. We can reach for connection to the spiritual potential. Now, Mercury remains retrograde from the 28th of August to the 27th. I'm so sorry. I've made a misprint here. So Mercury is retrograde from the 28th of August at 27 Cancer. And it's important to be aware that Mars affects Mercury at times. So there's an aspect from Mars, so beware angry speech, destabilised mind, etc. This is because Mars casts a square aspect on Mercury retrograde from the start of the lunation. It's also important to note that Saturn is squaring Mars from the start of the lunation, 2 malefics. The Saturn square Mars becomes exact around the 16th of August, and this can be frustration energy. So keep your mind steady during this lunation and during the Mercury retrograde that starts from it. Really seek to avoid critical attitudes and behaviours. Slow down, pay attention. And of course, during a Mercury retrograde, watch out for delays. Sort out as soon as possible misunderstandings in your communications. Be careful to prevent IT problems. You may be called to sort out communication problems from the past. I've just had a nightmare converting from Windows 10 to Windows 11. And it's made other bits of my work difficult to fit in. But it had to be done. Okay, point number 2. This is about Mars and Uranus and then Mars and Jupiter. Now, Jupiter is a crucial energy to recognise during this upcoming new moon. As Mars combines with Jupiter, which has the potential to bring in more Jupiterian divine recognition to your energy of revolution. So remember that on the 25th of July last month, Mars, having just entered Taurus, conjuncted Uranus and the dreadful fixed star Algol at 2 Taurus. And this created a peak energy of sheer revolution, flowing through everything, through our consciousness, through our lives. We still might be feeling very nervy and on edge. Try to get the life pace right and handle this with perception and strength. And of course, do the needed recognition work delve into what revolution is needed for me and my life now. It takes time for the detail of our needed revolution to be recognised. You see, we can need revolution on very different levels of our life, our behaviour patterns, and of our unconscious. Now, the second great energy that overlays this Mars-Uranus is Mars reaching Jupiter. And this peaks on the 14th of August. Transiting Mars conjoins transiting Jupiter, both still in Taurus at 23 Taurus. So this means there's an overlay to the revolution. This means putting our efforts also into Jupiterian energies of blessing, divine connection, enlargement, sense of purpose, funneling the Mars-Uranus revolution current through the Jupiterian awareness. But do be aware, of course, that the Mars-Jupiter combination can definitely go overboard. Be moderate. Note that Mars is in Rohini Nakshatra in Taurus, and this can be very creative. And this can add to the stream of revolution energy started by the Mars-Uranus conjunction in Taurus, exact July the 14th. Note also it's been very anciently recognised that when Mars transits a particular degree point, 19 to 24 Taurus, this is anciently known as Rohini Beda. And at this time dangerous events occur, particularly when malefic planets transit it. And of course Mars is a malefic. It's part of the Pleiades. So anciently Rohini Beda was defined as 19 to 24 Taurus, and so the malefic Mars activation occurs from the 19th to the 27th of August. Now this Mars transit through Taurus will particularly affect the life area, i.e. the house that is Taurus in your Vedic birth chart. What house is it? What are the affairs of that house? What's the standing of that house in your individual chart? And also especially if you have planets in Taurus or of course in Scorpio opposite. Plus other aspects to planets in other signs. Be aware of all that. You really need to. Point number 3, cherish Venus energies in our consciousness during this lunation. Work with Venus. Your manifestation, your handling of Venus, your growth of the expression of Venus energies. Uranus is square Venus from the start of the month, so at its best that's bringing revolution to your love relationship. By August the 15th, there's important to know about T-square. Saturn is opposite Venus, which can be a cold hand on the showing of love. And yet, it is also a call to find true love, particularly through the cherishing of simple things in life together. And the twist to this tale is that the Mars-Jupiter conjunction is square to Saturn and square to Venus. There's a T-square in the heavens, lots of tension, but lots of possibility for growth if we have awareness. So Venus really does need most careful monitoring and cherishing as it receives an opposition from malefic Saturn and a square from malefic Mars. Now Venus is going to go on to leave Leo and enter Vedic Virgo on August the 25th. And Virgo is the sign of Venus's debilitation. So get prepared, get ready for that. And another twist to the tale, Ketu is transiting Virgo at this time. And the Ketu-Venus combination can be deadly for loving commitments until that lesson is learned by each one of us. Okay, point number 4, Neptune is retrograde. Neptune is retrograde from July the 2nd to December the 7th, from 5 degrees Vedic Pisces to 4 degrees Vedic Pisces, and it's conjunct the worst energy star in the heavens, which is Shayat. But if we can handle Shayat issues with spiritual perception, we can grow spiritually. They include destruction, but remember, destruction can be needed for rebirth. Destructions and upheavals can be needed in our life. Now, positively, Neptune retrograde in Pisces, and indeed with Shayat, is so good for doing the needed tarot work, vision work, shamanic journeying, psychic perceptions, all those things we need to do during a lunation to make sure we deeply see what it especially means for us. So, improve your decision making now and deepen your perceptions and insights now, if possible by doing intuitive work now, to get a wonderful perception of what you need to do and how you need to be in the lunation ahead. And then look at the chart for the upcoming full moon. Neptune is the apex of a talent triangle whose base is Pluto trine Uranus. Death and rebirth, empowerment for true revolution, feeding into Neptune. Okay, let's go to point number 5. Ketu South Node transits Virgo. This is from October 23 to 18th of May 25. And this is a peak 18-month period for bringing in your needed healing approaches now. Virgo is all about health, healing and right living. Ditch the healing and medicines that do not work for you or even have damaging side effects for you. Identify the medications or herbs or whatever that you do need. This is the peak time. Venus through Virgo, Ketu through Virgo as well. Identify the lifestyle changes you do need to improve your health. Point number 6, Chiron is Gandanta. So I was saying that Mercury would retrograde through the Gandanta. Well, Chiron is in the Gandanta, in another Gandanta. There's 3 of them. So Chiron is at 29 Vedic Pisces, in the Pisces Aries Gandanta at the time of this new moon. And as I said before, Mercury is retrograding through the Cancer Leo Gandanta, so this is double Gandanta energy. And Gandanta energy is the perception that this world of Mahamaya is actually immaterial and unsupportive. It's crucial to incarnate here because we do the needed work to burn our negative karmas and to maximize the positive karmas we came to work with. But Gandanta connection opens us to the fact that beyond this world is the divine world. And, Hinduism and Tibetan Buddhism are full of that perception. And I've worked extensively for both. So in the case of Chiron being in the Gandanta, this is a wonderful time for tarot and vision work, shamanic journeying, etc. It's a really wonderful time to work to grow our spiritual perception. It's a wonderful time to find needed pointers to our needed change and needed growth. And especially in the case of Chiron, this is all about our healing process throughout our life, to do with the healing of our particular individual existential wound. Where is Chiron in your birth chart? Get a reading from me, and in addition to doing the general reading, we'll have a deep focus on your Chiron and the work you can do now at the time of Chiron Gandanta. Chiron has been retrograde since July the 27th, and this time represents an inescapable time to delve deeper into the nature of your existential wound, plus a crucial call to improve your healing of it. Okay, point number 7. Well, point number 7, Saturn is retrograde. Saturn, Lord of Karma, has been retrograde since the 30th of June at 25 Aquarius. Saturn retrograde starts August at 24 Aquarius. And Saturn retrograde ends August at 22 Aquarius. Saturn's retrograde ends the 16th of November 2024, when Saturn turns direct again at 18 Aquarius. This is such a huge, inescapable, must work with energy. Please absolutely be aware that Saturn retrograde calls us to tie up loose ends and finish unfinished business. And at the higher level, Saturn also calls us to change, to be more in tune with our karmas, with our karmic life purpose this time, with our incarnational life purpose this time. Now, if we're not in